All right, welcome. Today you are going to want a strap and I'm not sure what else, but a strap for sure. And we're gonna start on our backs. So we're gonna do just some pelvis stuff and a little bit of hamstring stuff, and then a really nice little restorative pose. And then we're gonna take a minute and do some shoulders, like forearms, wrists, shit, and then we'll be done because it's a medium-sized class today. So come onto your back, have your strap handy. Oh. And you're gonna pull your knees into your chest. And just relax into the floor here. So a lot of times we stay really active in poses like this. We bring the knees into the chest and we stay active, especially through the hips. And I want you to feel your low back soften. Feel the backside of your pelvis, your sacrum soften. Feel your lower abdomen soften. And allow that softness to come into your hip creases. So that then you can feel the whole hip joint soften, and then the entire upper leg thigh area. So really feeling all the muscles around the bones soften. And it should feel like you got to keep your fingers interlaced here, and the knees will kind of almost start to lean into the wrists because the legs are so relaxed that the only thing keeping the knees together are the arms. So as we move through these next few things, we're going to focus a lot on softening and relaxing through the belly, low back, and hip joints. So a lot of mental yoga today around the idea of surrendering tissue. So from here, you're going to just let those knees pop out, grab hold of the feet, bring the feet together so you're in a butterfly position. If it's not very comfortable to hang on to the feet, or if you find that your neck and shoulders are up, grab hold of the ankles or the, I want to call this the foreleg. The shins, like the forearm, the foreleg. Oh man. This is what happens when you don't live in your own country and speak the same language all the time. You just make words up. But also the word shin, this part here in Swedish means cheek. So I'm always confusing my students in class when I talk about your shin, like internally rotate your shin. And they're like, why is she asking us to internally rotate our cheek? That's weird. Americans are weird. Maybe I'll call it the foreleg now. I really confuse them. So you are softening into the pelvis here. I want you to really feel that, again, the legs are hanging off of the hands. So they're really relaxed. You're trying to relax everything as much as possible. Let the feet relax. Let the low back melt down towards the mat. And because we're in this like really open pelvic floor place, I want you to think about the walls of the pelvic floor, the walls of the vagina, softening. I want you to think of your asshole softening. So that as you breathe, you can really feel the expansion and the contraction through the pelvic floor.
And you're trying to keep that softness going as you move into happy baby. So you just pull the feet apart and you stack the ankles on top of the knees. And again, you're trying to keep everything as relaxed as possible. So we're really bone stacking here. Ankle, heel on top of knees. Knees melting down towards the mat. And then softening through the belly and the low back, feeling that low back kind of lengthen and fall towards the mat. And again, softening through the pelvic floor, the walls of the vagina, and through the anus. And every breath, just soften a little bit more. How can you find another layer of surrender? And pulling the heels back towards the pelvis. Slide the hands up the knees, bring the knees back together, interlace the fingers around the front of the knees so that you can really relax into the legs here. And this should feel like there's a little more space. The legs are a little more gooey. The pelvis is softer than when we first came into this position. And gently releasing the feet onto the mat. Grab your strap and you're going to make a loop in the strap that is quite big. And the strap is actually going to come around you. So you will need to rock yourself up because you are going to pick yourself in the loop. And the loop is going to come just below your shoulder blades on that rib cage. And then you are going to pull your right knee up into that loop along with the rest of your body and tighten it down as much as you can. So get a really tight English, come on. Get a tight loop so it feels like that knee is all the way in there. And then from here, you're going to take that left leg and extend it down. And then just relax into this. So you might notice immediately as you put the left leg down that the right hip contracts. So you can actually take your thumb and stick it right into that crease and kind of lengthen the crease away from you and encourage all those muscles. You can just poke it essentially, encourage those muscles to soften. Really allowing that whole right butt cheek to relax. Think of this sitting bone right there at the bottom of the butt, softening in towards the left thigh. So it kind of hugs in towards the midline of the body as it relaxes. And that happens because the right upper hip, lower back, lower waistline really softens and allows the sensation of that sitting bone to drop in towards the left leg. The whole left leg is relaxed, obviously left side of the belly and low back. Just seeing how much you can surrender in this pose. Again, every breath, we just let go a little bit more. So we just move into the breath. We inhale, create some compression as we expand. And then exhale, surrender, let everything go. Right into the anus, into the pelvic floor. Everything releasing. And then to come out of this, you're just going to loosen up your strap a little bit to release that right knee down, foot to the floor. Bring the left knee up. Just take a moment here. And then bring the left knee in. Strap it in. Tighten it down. Get it as tight as you can. And then from there, you're going to extend the right leg down. Noticing how that left hip wants to grip. Soften through the left hip crease. So you can actually stick your thumb in there. Give a little massage and just encourage the hip down. Softening through the left waistline, the low belly, the low back, to allow that sensation as the whole hip releases of the knee moving out and the sitting bone moving in. Letting that whole right hip also release, the low back, the belly, the legs, completely letting the legs go, letting the upper body go. We come back to the breath. So as we inhale, we expand and we create compression. And as we exhale, we really soften into that surrender and notice what areas we can get the mind to let go of, get the brain to actually turn off the muscle fibers. Taking a couple more breaths here. And gently releasing, letting that left leg down. Oh, foot to the floor. Bring the right knee up. Step the feet just a little wider than the mat and drop the knees together. And then extend both legs down for a moment just to lengthen out through the hip flexors. And bend the knees again, feet to the floor. Hug the knees up into the chest. And we're going to take them to the right for a twist, but you're going to set that right knee down. And then the left knee is actually going to hug up towards your chest more, almost as if you're trying to cross your legs, but you're not going to actually cross the legs. So the left knee is just further up towards you and on the outside of the right. Left arm reaches out to the side. And taking a deep breath in. You'll exhale, bring the left leg up, and then let the right leg come up too. And we go over to the left side. Left knee drops down, and then the right knee comes on top and in front of the left one. And the arm comes out to the side. Taking a deep breath in. As you exhale, right knee leads back up, and then left knee, feet come back to the ground, and you want to get yourself out of the loop of strap. Open up your strap. And we're going to bring the right foot up into the strap, lengthening it up towards the sky. You want to have the strap far enough down that your arms are bent so that your head and your neck are down on the mat. And your bicep muscles are doing this work instead of your neck and shoulders. From here, lengthen the left leg down. And then start to really soften through your back of the pelvis, sacrum, soften through the belly, the internal lower abdominals. Really feel that whole right hip get heavy, and it should feel like the leg gets a little bit heavy because you're not actively holding it up in the air anymore. You're using your arms to hold that leg. So I want you to think about inhaling and that expansion that happens with the inhale. And then as you exhale, everything lets go and you draw with your arms, the leg a little closer up to your head. So there's a little micro movement happening with every single breath. There's a surrendering and a deepening that happen at the exact same time. Then you're going to pick that left leg up, bring the left leg up into the strap, swap your feet out, bringing that right leg down, lengthening through the left leg. We start off by just trying to really let go of all those muscles through the left hip and the left thigh, low back, belly, so that you're really holding the weight of the leg with your arms. And then we move into the breath. So as we inhale, we allow that expansion through the whole belly, low back, pelvis, pelvic floor. And as we exhale, we gently tug the toes closer to our head. And as we exhale, we're also continuing to deepen that aspect of surrender. You're going to bend the right knee, foot to the floor, release that left foot, drop that down to the floor. Feet are hip width apart, maybe just slightly wider. And then you're just gonna rock the knees side to side, just windshield wiper the knees. And then roll over onto your side and around onto your belly for a quick Sphinx pose to continue to soften through the front of the hips and the sacrum. So feet are hip width apart, elbows are right and under your shoulders. Give yourself a little bit of a wiggle. Just kind of wiggling out all of that tightness, and then really let the legs completely go. Let the belly soften completely. So it feels like the front ribs are just gently melting forward towards the front of your mat. Really getting a nice stretch through the upper abdominal wall. The sacrum, the tailbone, the low back all softens. Shoulders are relaxed. From here, you press yourself back into either child's pose or downward facing dog, whatever your body is asking for today. And then we're going to come to seated. So just a comfortable seat, whatever that looks like for you. I'm going to do a little bit of self-massage. So I've had a request for forearms. So we're going to roll up our sleeves. And you're going to put your hand out in front of you, palm flat down. Let's work with the right hand first, right arm first. And you're going to take your left thumb, and you can kind of see right here, coming from the outer edge of the arm towards the thumb side, there is tissue that comes across the top of the arm. So you're going to go right, you can see your crease right in the arm. Just below that crease, you're just going to bring your thumb across and your fingers wrap in under. And I want you to press the thumb into that muscle and gently move it towards the midline of your body. And then you're going to rotate the thumb up and out as much as you can. And then come back. You might need to reset the thumb a little bit. Push down and then externally rotate that thumb up and out. So just a couple of times resetting and coming back into external rotation.
Good. And then you're going to just move one thumb width down. Do the same thing. You press down, pulling gently medially with the tissue, and then externally rotate the hand. We reset and rotate, reset and rotate. And then again, we go down one, just one more. Rotate. And as you get lower here, you're going to find that the thumb actually drags across the tissue, and that's fine. Good. And then you're going to take the left hand, and we're just going to do some grabbies. Relax the right hand completely and just grab that muscle, squeeze it, just like you're squeezing a lemon. And then you're going to bend that right arm. And so your pinky finger is pointed away from your face. Your thumb is looking at your face. You're going to kind of palpate the top of that muscle again, but as it comes in towards your elbow. So if you move from that muscle we just worked on, which is going to be tender, across the top of that muscle as it comes into the elbow, find a nice tender area. Shouldn't be hard. Okay, and then you're going to make little, make a fist and make little circles with the fist and with the forearm. So the wrist is making the bigger circles, but the forearm moves a little bit, just a little bit. Should hurt like hell. And then go in the opposite direction. Good. And release that. Turn your forearm parallel to the floor. Take the left hand to the outside, right where the tricep comes into the elbow point. Okay. And you'll feel two distinct areas. If like on this upper part, you'll feel like there's a little bit of a rounding, and then you'll feel a divot. And then on the bottom part, you'll feel kind of the tissue we were just grabbing hold of. So you want to go right in the middle there. Okay, so I'm right. It's a very clear line. You'll be able to feel it. There's like a valley. Okay, you're gonna put your fingers right in there and then just loop your thumb around. So you're squeezing just like you were grabbing somebody's arm, but you're grabbing your own arm. Right, and then you're going to extend that arm and bring it back. Extend and bring it back. And then release. Shake it out. Sometimes you'll even get a nice little crack through there. And then just that same lemon squeezy thing going on, do all around the tricep, bicep attachment, all the way just around the top of the elbow. Good. And then we'll swap sides. So right hand is going to work on the left hand. We extend the arm down in front of us. Palm is flat down, thumb is in the middle. You're going to take your right thumb to that mound that goes diagonally from the outside lateral to the inside medial. So right below the crease, you're going to place your thumb, give it a squeeze, push down and pull in slightly, which all you have to do is drop your elbow down there. And then we're going to externally rotate the hand so the thumb looks up and out. Reset and rotate. Reset and rotate. Good. And then we're going to go one down. So just moving your thumb down one thumb width. Same thing. I push down, I pull gently medially, and I externally rotate. Rotate, reset. Good. Same thing. We just move down one, press and rotate. And again, as you're moving down, you're going to notice the tissue moves more under your thumb, and that's totally fine. Good. And then you're going to bring the arm up and feel around here. So right where we were kind of just working, as all of that comes down into the elbow point, you're going to find a tender spot, press with the fingertips, wrap the hand and the thumb around the other side, make a fist, and then rotate the wrist around with a little bit of an elbow spin as well. And then rotate in the opposite direction. Oh, this side is way more tender than I anticipated. Good. And then we rotate that arm down. We're going to bring the other fingers to the outside. And again, we're looking for those two little mounds. So if you come towards the upper part, or the part of the arm that's upwards right now, you'll feel there's some attachment sites there. And then you come down and you walk over that valley, you'll find some attachment sites down on the bottom. You want to walk back up into that valley that you can really get your fingers into, all in a line. Wrap the rest of the hand around. Okay. And then we're just opening up that arm and pulling the arm back. So I'm really pressing my fingers into that valley and then opening up the arm and pulling it back. Good. And then release, shake all of that out. Oh, sorry, lemon squeeze. Got to do lemon squeeze on both the lower arm and above the elbow. And release, shake it out. And because we did so much on our back already, we'll just take a moment here seated for some quiet time. So we just did all that work on the arms. I want you to relax with the hands palms up so the elbows can really hang. It might even feel good to bring your back up against something so that you're really supported. The shoulders relax, the elbows hang. Come back to the breath as you inhale, feel that expansion. And as you exhale, see where else you can soften and surrender. Where are you hanging on to tension? And you can stay here as long as you like, just kind of geeking out in that idea of inhaling and expanding, exhaling and surrendering, finding how many places you can just let go, become ooey gooey. But I gotta go eat dinner. So, hands together. Thank you so much for being here this evening. Namaste.